Hey, this is a wrap-up video. Wrap-up of what? I don't know. It's Friday, so it's definitely a wrap-up of the week. May turn into a wrap-up of the month. May turn up to a wrap-up of the channel. No, just kidding. It is. I am coming to the end of my time here in Durrës, Albania, where I've lived the last 9 months, and I'm now sitting on this tiny balcony, looking at the ghost town that was once a bright, vibrant beach community is now almost in complete hibernation mode, even though the weather's still beautiful here. It's overcast today, but still in the early 80s every day, and the sea is warm, but the shops are locked up. I had to walk an hour to find a photocopier today. That probably would have been true anywhere. There's not a lot of services out here. There's grocery stores and restaurants, and everything else is touristy. I am finishing out my month of events. I quit Shorty September early because I didn't really get it, and I didn't really see that the people who were running it were interested in a lot of participation other than their own group. So I kind of dropped it, but I did find a bunch of stuff, not a bunch, but 3 or 4 things I want to read that I marked that I'm going to do on my own, that I got library books for, that I'm going to do reviews on if they turn out to be good later on, because I got them from recent videos of people that I watch a lot, and found some cool nonfiction books I want to try. I'm thinking maybe that's a way that I can get into reading more nonfiction, is cribbed from a couple different people's Shorty September lists of nonfiction. There's some really good looking stuff on there. I had no idea there was that much history and memoir that fit into that very short category. But so that's one thing I'm not doing any more of this month. I am wrapping up also my Sumerian September. I read Conan the Rebel by Poul Anderson, doesn't count. I read Skullface by Robert E. Howard. Didn't like it that much. It's kind of a Fu Manchu pastiche. Now I'm in Solomon Kane territory. I'm reading this not only for Sumerian September, I'm reading it for the Lone Star Book Club, curated and run by Randy Ray, the literate Texan, who's a lovely guy. I was really happy to make his acquaintance virtually the end of last week, when he and Mark from Book Time with Elvis were nice enough to invite me on their channel. I had a great time with them, and I would love to do more of those kind of things. If anybody invite me on to blab about anything, I would return the favor, but I don't think I would like to do some lives, but I don't think at this point I would get any views at all, because I don't really have a big enough audience yet. But once it gets bigger, if I could attract 5, 10, 15 people to a live event, I would love to do those, and that might satisfy some of the people who like the longer content, which is only Jay. But what the heck, it's better than everybody liking it. To have Jay on your side is to have half the world on your side, because he's an awesome dude. Anyway, so Solomon Kane, about halfway through it. I'm enjoying it. I had read some of the stories before. I think these editions, I have all these Del Rey editions that I could find. I think there's 7 or 8 of them. There's 3 Conan ones, 1 Cull one. I think I'll read the Cull one next. There's historical fiction. There's horror fiction. Oh no, I might read I haven't decided yet. I might read the horror fiction one, since October's coming up. Might be fun to do for October instead of saving it for Horror Mayhem. I really should read some horror in October. These editions are great. They have illustrations. They have all the, I don't know what you call it, apocrypha, or all the fragments. This one has an alternate version of the final story in it, which I haven't got to yet, but I don't know if I want to read 2 versions of it, but I probably will by that time, because it's not a lot of material overall. It's one of the thinner books. He has, I don't know what, a dozen stories, including maybe less discounting the fragments. People probably know that Solomon Kane is Robert E. Howard's Puritan hero, supernatural Puritan hero. Quite a unique creation. I don't know who you would compare him to. He's maybe halfway between an adventurer in the mode of a sword and sorcery type adventurer, because he gets in a lot of fights and stuff, but and maybe a bit of an occult detective early on. He's definitely out to do stuff. He's out there looking for trouble, looking for adventure. Stuff happens to him. It's a contrast to Conan in that, and I think maybe Conan's unique in this, maybe Cull a little bit, where the Conan stories show you a long aspect of a career. I don't know how long they take place over, 20 years, 40 years, I'm not really sure. But from his youth all the way into his becoming a king, we don't see that kind of arc for Solomon Kane. We just see him on the road for a while. But they're fun stories. Probably not my favorite Howard stories, but they're good, and I believe he's an essential character to read, to understand more about Howard as a person. Of course, we have we are blessed with a quote on the cover from Stephen King that says. So if you don't take my word for it, you can take Stephen King's. In his best, Howard's writing seems so highly charged with energy that it nearly gives off sparks. And inside, we have even another quote from praise of Howard from Stephen King. Here's a whole list of praise from different people, mostly tour writers, it seems. Charles Deland, David Gemmell. All people who were kind of big when these editions came out. David Drake, John Jakes. Oh, my buddy John Jakes of Brack the Barbarian fame. The teller of marvelous tales, Robert Howard did indeed create a giant, Conan, in whose shadow all other hero tales must stand. So every one of these quotes is about Conan, and that's just the way it's going to be. Although I've read some other terrific stuff. I've read some of the horror stories by Howard. And I've read Cull before, and I've read most of the Conan, I think. And he does have other great stuff outside the Conan canon, but then you have this from Stephen King. At his best, Howard was the Thomas Wolfe of fantasy. Maybe somebody could explain to me what that means. At his best, Robert E. Howard was the Sherwood Anderson of fantasy. At his best, Robert E. Howard was the Emily Dickinson of fantasy. Who knows what he's going on about there? But it's glib, I guess. Maybe it makes more sense in context, or maybe I just don't know enough about Thomas Wolfe or care enough about Thomas Wolfe. Maybe it's because Conan never goes home to Samaria. Maybe that's what Stephen King's talking about. Who knows? I don't want to get off on that. I apologize to all the the King heads out there. Looking forward, I'm gonna do a little switch up after this. I've been hitting hard on science fiction and stuff. I'm gonna get back to some Ed McBain, because where I am in the list is one book behind the book that is the source material for that new Spike Lee movie, which I don't want to see, but I did see the original movie, High and Low. Let me get to my list, my TBR list here. High and Low is a Kurosawa movie from the 1950s starring Toshiro Mifune, which as a person who's a victim of a kidnapping with a twist. It was based on so I guess High and Low, the movie, must have been in the 60s, because it was based on Ed McBain's 87th Precinct novel, King's Ransom, written in 1959. That's one away on my list, so I'm going to read Till Death and King's Ransom, which are the next two in order for the 87th Precinct novels. Then I'm going to watch high and low again, and then I'll probably talk about that movie and the book together. I don't. It looks like they did a lot of changes for the Spike Lee version. And it's got a great cast. It's got two guys I really like. Denzel Washington, of course, everybody likes, and then Jeffrey Wright is another fantastic actor as kind of two of the principals. It looks like they changed quite a bit from the Kurosawa movie, so that's why I'm interested in watching that again to see how much they changed from the book, and we'll see what's closest to the book. I'm sure the Kurosawa movie is fantastic. I'm sure the book is very good too. That's coming up. Ed McBain, not related to anything. I'll try and squeeze it in before I pick my Victorian book, which I probably should read Villette, because it's the only Bronte book I haven't read. It's It's one of Charlotte Bronte's 3 novels, or 4 novels. Yeah, 4 novels, and it's the only one I haven't read. And so we'll do that, and we'll see how things go for the month. I'm getting a little sentimental about leaving here, although I'm really excited to move on as well and broadcast from a new undisclosed location. But that's still, what is that, like 7 days away? So we might see some more videos before then. I am doing a little less reading now because I'm wrapping odds and ends up that I have to do, and we'll see how it all goes. Trying to make sure I get my walks in every day. Maybe now it's less crowded. Maybe I'll do a walk and talk. I shouldn't promise that though, because maybe I won't. And I would hate to be compared to the kings of the walk and talks. Jay at Faceless Book Reads and Kevin at Kevin Told Reads, but I'd have to still give the edge to Jay at sorry Kevin, I have to give the edge to Jay on the walk and talks, because every week he does videos where he literally puts his life in danger. He's nearly sideswiped by the maniacs, the barbarians that crawl over the backwoods roads in his wherever he lives, in the depths of America, someplace on these beautiful green highways. And there's people, obviously many people are out to get him. He escaped with his life every day, but it's one of these days it's going to be even closer, and I have faith that he'll survive. But will he be completely unscathed? So far, he's beaten the cars. I don't know 200 videos to 0. No cars have gotten him yet, and I believe that'll continue. So keep Jay in your hearts. We want him on the road. We want him giving his reviews from the road. We don't want him stuck in the house like the rest of us. He's our road warrior, is what he is. Jay at Faceless Book Reviews is the road warrior, and I believe I'm shocked it took me this long to realize that he's the road warrior of BookTube. He's got to change his channel to Road Warrior Book Reviews. Okay, everyone, talk to you later.